I've made these 5 big mistakes in property so you don't have to. Now, this may be a shock to you because I'm sure if you've been watching me, you think I'm absolutely perfect. No, really not, actually. And I'm going to give you a bonus number 6 because it might not relate to you, but it's definitely my most embarrassing. So let's start with number 1, not doing enough research in the beginning. I was watching all these people go all over the place. Oh my God, they're getting results. This is amazing. And I was like, go. And actually what I realized is in property, think about the whole structure. I want to build a skyscraper. And if you think about the major cities, let's say you've gone into London and this is the Shard, right? Great example. What an incredible building. Now, I was actually living in London when this was happening, getting the train into London Bridge every single day, and there was nothing. Suddenly huge building. It's like, what the hell? What you need to remember is the bigger the skyscraper, the more time you spent in the ground, digging, foundations, understanding, doing research. What are people looking for? What's the demand? What's the supply? What's the crime in the area? What's the location? What's the future? The more time you spend doing your research, your analysis by watching videos like this, the faster you will grow. And the big mistake number 1 is I didn't do enough research. Number 2 is overextending your finances. Now, in property, in order to scale quickly, we use something called leverage. Now, leverage is the secret sauce to property investment, but I'm not talking about leverage. I'm talking about over leverage. Most of the people that you hear about that went in the 2007-2008 crisis, it wasn't because their properties went down in value. It's the fact that they were getting, are you ready? 110% mortgages. You think, what the fuck is 110% mortgage? Well, imagine you're buying a £200,000 property and the bank gave you 220,000 to buy it. In fact, let's go even further. The reason you got that extra 10% was to contribute towards your refurbishment. You think, well, that's not bad, right? Making a house into a home, making it higher value, apart from the fact that they gave you 110% on a new build property. What the fuck is that about? If you over leverage yourself, you are putting yourself at risk of going pop. Number 1 rule of investing, don't lose money. Number 2 rule, don't forget rule number 1. Number 3 is valuing your money more than your time. Now, this really took me a long time to understand because I was getting into property to make as much money as possible because I didn't have any. Everyone thinks from a place of scarcity rather than a place of abundance. And my scarcity was money. I didn't start with a load of experience. I didn't start with money. In fact, loads of you know my story. I was 33 grand in debt to even get started in property, credit cards, personal loans and the like. And because of that, I started putting money on the pedestal. I started thinking that's the most valuable asset. But what you need to understand is time is disappearing every single second and we are never getting it back. Time is the only depreciating asset. So at any point you can outsource something in property, whether it's managing the property at the end with a letting agent, managing the refurbishment, or using somebody like our company, Aspire Property Group, to do the whole thing for you. Value your time higher than your money. Number 4, not actually having a clear strategy. Now, this is really interesting. If you've ever been to like a property education company, one of their free ones, you'll learn about rent to rent, lease options, service accommodation, industrial conversion, land development, buy-to-lets, BRRs, HMOs, service accommodation. I mean, about 100 more, right? They're all amazing strategies. So what one do you do? Well, actually, you need to just slow down, think about your situation. What time do you have? What experience have you got? What money have you got? What's your risk appetite? And how hungry are you for the growth? Because that's going to dictate buy-to-let, service accommodation and everything else. Because otherwise you get the magpie effect, shiny penny syndrome. And I see it all the time. People choose one strategy, do it for 3 months. Maybe it's that strategy, you go and do it for 3 months. And then that one and that one and that one. And I did the same, okay? It took me about 1.5 years to really hone down the fact that I love boring, vanilla buy-to-let properties. I've got all of my wealth built up from buy-to-let properties. And then my active business is actually helping people build their buy-to-let property portfolios. And then I've got an education company teaching people about boring vanilla buy-to-let properties. Okay, I've really stuck with one thing. And if you're gonna spread yourself thin, you are doomed for failure. Remember, inch wide, mile deep. Mistake number 5, and then we'll move to number 6, which is my most embarrassing one. But number 5 is not focusing on my strengths. I don't know if you've heard this before. Focus on your weaknesses until they become a strength. Sounds so wise and yet so fucking useless as information. What a load of bullshit. Okay, why I'm shit at this because I probably don't like it. If I'm great at maths and terrible at writing essays, you don't go, just write more essays. It's like, no, I fucking hate them. I'm crap at that. It's really bad advice, and that's the problem with school a lot, is you're creating a generalist, but actually that's not how you make money in the world. It's not by being a generalist, it's becoming a specialist, being great. So, I mean, whatever job you've got, think about what you're great at and double down it. Think about a doctor. Who makes more, a GP or a brain surgeon, a heart surgeon? Brain surgeon, is that even what they're called? Neurosurgeon. Don't fucking put me in there, right? It's the specialists that make the most money. And so I actually outsourced my weaknesses. And even in my team now, I look at the teams and I go, what are they lacking? And then when I'm hiring the next person, I'm hiring them for the strengths that the other team don't have. I'm not looking to make their weaknesses their strengths. Double down on your strengths and you will be a fucking hero. Number 6 is, I don't like to admit this, just being fucking emotional. So I am an emotional character. I've got better and better at this, but I can promise you, every time emotions have played a part, something's gone wrong. I've bought a really bad property because I loved the tenant that was living there. I've bought a really shit property in a shit area because I just wanted to help the person selling it. There's no rooms for emotions in investment. There's no room at all for this. And even like with my team, I've got an amazing team, but when I have lost my shit, which I'd probably say I've done that once in the last 3 years and immediately regretted it. Every single time emotions come into play, something goes wrong. Now, emotions are great when you're passionate, when you're driven, when you're excited about everything, but this is the place for logic. It's the place for using your brain. And so be patient with yourself. If you're hot-headed, like I can be sometimes, let your emotions settle. They will get in the way of good, positive, cash flowing, capital growth like decision-making processes. So hey, I can only talk from my experience. They are my 5 plus 1, 6 biggest mistakes that I've made in my journey, but this is about you, not just me. What's your biggest mistake that stopped you getting towards success? If you're new to the channel, you want to find out more about property investing, I'd love to have you subscribe and join me in the next videos coming up. If you got value from this video in particular, just tap the like button. Takes you literally 5 seconds, but shows others that you're getting value and maybe they will too. If you're looking to build your portfolio, by the way, I mentioned Aspire Property Group where we do it hands-free. We work with people with 100,000 or more. If that is you, you want to get your money working hard for you instead of you working hard for your money, put APG in the comments now. And what we'll do is we'll book you in for a free one-to-one strategy session. And as I said, make sure to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.